Welcome to Easy Math TV. We're going to continue our discussion of loans under the major heading of the time value of money. And it's my task to try to explain to you the difference between ordinary simple interest loan versus something called a rule of 78. So I'm going to try to explain the rule of 78 using my favorite cookie. So let's imagine a scenario. This is happening at the top of the page here. So you come to me and you say, I need to borrow 50 bucks. And I say, okay, I'll lend you $50. You can even wait a whole year, 12 months to pay it off. You don't have to pay the $50 until the end of the year. But I'm going to charge you interest on that loan. And the interest on the loan is going to be 78 of my favorite cookies, which you will kindly buy for me each month using these one of these two patterns here. So you get to decide whether or not we're going to you're just going to distribute those 78 cookies evenly across the 12 months, or are we going to use the rule of 78? So I'm going to explain that to you here. So what I'd like you to do is see if you can count. Like you have the screen in front of you. So see if you can count how many cookies are actually on the display here in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, all the way to December. So we're assuming that, but those are our 12 months and those are our 12 payments. And these are your interest payments, okay? So payment of the cookies under the first model, if we're just using simple interest with what we call uniform interest payments, then you take 78 and divide by 12, and I'm going to do that calculation right here. The calculation ends up being 6.5. So you'll have to cut cookies in half and probably put them in a Ziploc bag and save it for the following month, you know? So, so in January, you're going to pay me 6.5 or 6.5 cookies. And then in February, 6.5 cookies. And then March, 6.5 cookies. And it keeps on going like that. Okay. So, you're just going to continue to give me cookies until you pay off the $50 that you borrowed in the first place. Under the rule of 78, that's over here on the right. Under the rule of 78, we don't divide the interest payments up evenly at all. In fact, what happens is you end up paying a lot more interest in the first half of the loan period, or in this case, it's the year. In the first half of the year, you're going to pay a lot more cookies than in the second half. So it slowly goes down. So basically what the rule of 78 says is that 78, if you want to know what that number is, you take each month, so each payment, payment number 1, payment number 2, payment number 3. You add up all those numbers up to 12 and you actually get 78. So like I've stacked the cookies here. So basically if the January stack has 12 cookies, because that is the first month out of 12. So that, you take the total number of months and that's how high your first stack is. And then you're just going to keep reducing the stack by 1 each time. So the February stack has 11 cookies in it. The March stack has 10 cookies, and then 9, and then 8, and then so on, all the way down to 1. Okay? So you'll have to, we can actually do this here. I can calculate. So equals 12 plus 11, and just keep adding. Whoops. And you'll see that it actually equals 78. So 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Hit enter, and there's my 78. So there are 78 cookies under the uniform interest payments because 6.5 times 12 is 78. And on the right, there's 78 cookies because when you add those up, you get 78. So if you let the loan completely go until December, then both of these individuals, like under both of these situations, you're going to end up paying me 78 cookies plus $50, you know? But here's the question. Suppose you decide to pay off your loan early, and that's what a lot of people try to do because they don't want to be in debt. So if you want to pay your loan off early, and I'm just imagining that like you get to the 5th month, maybe you make that May payment and you decide, you know what, I've got enough money, I can just pay off the whole thing. So under the simple interest with uniform interest payments, how many cookies did that actually cost you? So basically, all we have to do there is take equals 6.5, so it's 6.5 cookies per month times 5 months, right? Because you've made 5 payments. So 6.5 times 5 is 32.5. So I'm going to answer that question here. Answer 32.5 cookies in the first 5 months. Okay? So that's our answer there. What about over here? Under the rule of 78, we would have to add up. So we have to take, first we paid 12, then we paid 11, then 10, and then 9. So 12, 11, 10, 9, and then in the 5th month we paid 8 cookies. So 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 cookies all together is what you paid me by the end of May. So how many cookies did that cost you under the rule of 78? 50 cookies. So, I mean, that may not seem like a lot to you, but imagine that each of those cookies is $100 or maybe even $1,000. I mean, you know, when we turn them into dollars and we're not dealing with small amounts of money here, it can start adding up very quickly, and you won't get those cookies back. Like you pay me that interest. I mean, you agreed to the terms of the loan, so you will not get those 50 cookies back, even though the loan hasn't even reached the 6th month. We haven't even gotten halfway through the year. And you end up paying me much, much more than half the interest under the rule of 78. So that hopefully helps you to see what the rule of 78 is kind of about and gives you a feel for it. You know, if you're going to pay the whole loan, if you're going to take the whole 12 months to pay off the loan, it really doesn't matter. Because you're going to be making the same kinds of payments every month anyway. So, you know, it's not like it's going to matter if you decide to keep your loan for the whole 12 months. But if there's any chance at all that you need to pay it off early, something happens, you have a circumstance in your life, you need to you can't rely on having that extra income for much longer, and you may need to pay it off. So, you know, like not charging you extra interest is something that's probably more fair. The rule of 78 definitely favors the lender, the person that lent you the money, because they're going to get their cookies. All right. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you're enjoying these videos. We're actually going to do a Rule of 78 problem next, but this is just to explain to you how the Rule of 78 works. See you in the next video.